This is a topic that can't be solved on a social media post, and it can't be solved by just me and you discussing it. But it is a topic that I think needs to be discussed, and we need to think about it from a societal standpoint and how we can increase the supply of houses, increase the supply of rentals so that the cost goes down. And that's not by limiting what the return on investment can be. It's not by limiting our investors and hampering them and handcuffing them to make their investment. They're going to look at an opportunity. They're going to figure out what their return on investment is, and they're going to decide whether they invest. If we limit that, if we artificially cap that with rent increases, we aren't artificially capping their costs. So their costs of labor for repairs, their cost of utilities for heating and water go up, their cost of insurance goes up, their taxes go up. If those things go up and I can't reflect it as a landlord, I can't reflect those in my rent, then I'm not going to make that investment. I'm not going to put my money at risk to where I can't get the return that covers my costs. We need to incentivize people to build more. We need to incentivize low-cost housing. That's fine. We need to incentivize it, but we can't incentivize it by limiting their returns. I understand the value of having a cap so that families are not hit with a huge increase from year to year. The price of rentals is easy to figure, supply and demand. If there's demand and demand is willing to pay the price, then that price is set by the market. If the supply goes up, the supply number of apartments or houses goes up, and people can't fill it. If I have a rental that I'm trying to rent and I can't rent it at the price I have it at, I'll lower my prices. I'll lower my rate. So supply and demand will set the price of rentals. So how do we increase the supply? And we don't increase the supply by limiting what the investor can make on the returns. We don't increase the supply by capping what they can charge as things increases as the market changes. We have to incentivize them. How do we incentivize them so that they invest? How do we incentivize the builders so that they will invest in the city and invest in the properties and invest in the long term? Housing is a long-term investment. Rentals are a long-term investment. Mortgages are set for 30 years. That means that when I'm paying off my mortgage, the rate that I get for my rental has to cover the mortgage. It depends on how much I put down as a down payment, and that differs. The bigger the down payment, that's great. That means you are paying less every month. But at the end of the day, you're still paying the same price. At the end of the day, you have to be able to cover your investment, your return on investment. So if I put $100,000 down, I can make 6, 7, 8% in the stock market or more. So I need to make sure that I make that return on a rental. And we can't encourage people to do that by limiting what their returns are. We're handcuffing them with regulations. We need to incentivize them. So how do we as a society incentivize people to invest in housing, to invest in low price housing and low income housing?